Whoa, guess who's Bizak? What's up, y'all? Y'all know who this is. Y'all know what time it is. This is the Sexual Intellectual Podcast. I'm JD, and you are great for being here. Whether you are listening or watching, thank you for being here. It is truly appreciated. And I hope y'all don't beat me up too much today because it's going to be a little bit of a wild one. If y'all old like me, 30 plus, 35 plus, then y'all remember when game shows had the lightning round. That's when they go real quick, ask you something, you got to answer quick. It's like you got seconds to respond. Some games even did it where you had to crunch in a bunch of stuff in a time frame. Lots of different renditions of this have happened over the years. And now this is the Sexual Intellectual lightning round. I got a lot of topics and we're going to try to cover them quick today. So bear with me. So let's do it. First, I'd like to start. Y'all don't need explanations. Here it is. A couple weeks ago, I went to this really cool event called the Sex Expo in New York City. They had all type of cool discussions and panels, everything from how to tips for being risque, quote unquote, on social media with your posts, how to thrive in a community that is constantly censoring you. They had things like that. They had things like introduction to pegging. They even had a class that was called Yoga for Better Sex. They had all type of good stuff. And they had tons of vendors. I won't give all the names, but if you want to see recaps, there's going to be footage on my social media. So if you're already watching this clip, then you can just keep scrolling. And if you're on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcast or wherever, go to my socials and you'll be able to see some of the clips. I already posted one of the vendors from the other day. And that is what's going on. But the event was super cool and I really enjoyed it. It was educational. They had different kind of vendors there. It was a lot. There were many selling sex toys and things for the bedroom, but there were also people doing like tarot card readings and people who would give a massage for, I think it was like $25 for a full body massage. What was another cool one? Oh, they had this whole setup. You could just walk in and get your hair done. It was a salon just right there. You could come in and just get your hair hooked up, get your hair did. It was pretty sweet. So that was there as well. Let me see what else. It was a 2-day event, Saturday and Sunday. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed myself. It was a cool event. It was both informative and entertaining, educational and entertaining. And I'm cool when that when both of those things are happening simultaneously. Oh, I see the camera's a little high. Let me just lower that a smidge for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Bam. See my Star Wars shirt in full. So that's number one. Let's go to topic number 2. Hit the drop, baby. Politics as usual. Yo. Your man Biden. Your man Biden is wild. After he said that taxes were not taxes, I'm sorry. Inflation was important to fix and we had to get a grip on it. He was asked the other day because there is another 40-year high happened in September. Many things were higher in cost than they've been since like the 80s. I think it was 1982 I saw. And your man try to act like, nah, it don't exist. Nah, I'm not even discussing it. Just dubbed it. What? Yes, it. I think Dave Chappelle had this skit. He's going, home. That's what I thought of when I saw it. I'm like, oh, all right, Biden. Biden didn't give a fuck. I said, all right, fam. I hear that. Get a sip of the water before we continue this lightning round. But Biden has also done something good as well. He is working on removing marijuana crimes federally. Okay, let me reword that. Biden is going to get rid of federal marijuana crimes. He's urging the states to do the same. And he, in fact, is even going to release people from jail who have marijuana crimes. But one thing that stood out to me that I guess I have to do some research and find out is he said simple marijuana crimes, simple marijuana possessions specifically is what it said. Simple marijuana possession. I have no idea what simple marijuana possession means, but I would like to find out. If you know what simple marijuana possession means, then feel free to drop it in the comments and put me on. And I would appreciate that if you do know. But it's something I want to look into because I thought it was really interesting that it said simple marijuana crimes. And I like that he's urging states to do the same. He's urging states to get rid of simple marijuana crimes. And I totally am with that. If it is going to be legal federally, which I believe it will be very soon, for a minute now, I've been saying 2025. But if it's going to continue to be legal in more and more states, then we cannot continue to put people in jail for marijuana. And they should be let out as far as I'm concerned. I'm all about that. And I'll be honest, I really like states like LA who are trying to help people who had marijuana charges now become marijuana distributors, growers, etc. They give them grants and help them out. They have some dope programs. I know LA has a dope program. Um, I heard something about Jersey trying to do something similar, but I haven't seen it yet. So we'll see. But I really want to take my hat off, as they say, to the states that are doing stuff like that. I think that's really cool. And I think that's how it should be because if it's legal, then let cats out. I mean, especially if you had like an ounce or some small shit, like if you was walking around with 55 pounds, then maybe that's different. But a lot of people have been locked up for silly shit, small amounts, and they should be let out. So that was a good thing that Biden did there. I do want to look into the simple possession thing, but besides that, looks good so far. Oh, speaking of being locked up, a couple of pods ago, I don't even know how many now, but a while back I spoke about what they're calling the Purge Law in Chicago. So this is called Safe T Act, Safe-T Act. It will charge and release criminals without cash bail for 12 now non-detainable offenses. So those are the things I just read. And there is now no cash bail. It's really interesting. And people are calling this the first Purge Law. But I found out that actually this bail thing could be good. Getting rid of bail, allowing people to come out without bail could be a good thing as well. I saw a stat that said 60% of people waiting for trial are locked up simply because they can't afford bail. And a lot of them are uh, not guilty at the end of it. I don't remember the percentage for that. If I can find it again, I'll put it on the screen. But yeah, 60% of the people locked up are simply just can't afford bail. So they're just sitting in court, sitting in prisons while they wait for their day in court. And that can be a long time, especially depending on what you are being accused of, what you are being charged with, or really accused of is probably what I should say, because a lot of times before you get to that first trial date, they don't even have a set in stone charge as of yet. It's a lot of could be's or possibly be's. Even if it's you're arrested for murder, what form of murder is it? Murder one, murder two, manslaughter, whatever. So yeah, actually, I see now how that could be a good thing because let's keep it real. A lot of the people who cannot afford bail, they look like me and you, black, brown people. You feel me? So yeah, Safe-T Act actually could be a good thing. That bail shit does fuck up a lot of people. I didn't really think of that at the time, so I just want to come back and add some more perspective to the pod and to the things that I said. So yeah. Let's keep it moving. Okay, next we have a little random one. Netflix is moving to an ad-based tier, or adding an ad-based tier, I should say. There's a bunch of apps that already do this. To be honest, almost all the apps have ads. HBO Max and Disney Plus and Netflix were the big three that didn't. But actually, all of them have been discussing and playing around with the idea of a cheaper tier that has ads. Lots of the other platforms have this already, where you pay one price for it with ads while you're watching the content, and another price slightly higher where you can remove the ads. That don't have shit to do with sex or politics, but I think it's really interesting because Netflix is catching a lot of flack for it. They also released some information a while back about how um, what the price ranges would be for people for conglomerates who want to do ads with them. And I think it's really interesting that they are switching to this ad based style. I wonder how much it's going to be for the tiers, because with Netflix, this is one of the things I think is interesting. With Netflix, there's a lot of people who have the higher tiers in, which means you can have more accounts and stuff like that. So I'm curious how that's going to affect people who have customers who have those kinds of things. Um, I guess we'll see. But Disney has also said that they're going to mess around, and they're messing around with doing an ad based one. And I believe HBO Max is doing the same. And that doesn't surprise me because the CEO came from Discovery, uh, and all of those channels, that whole hub. And when the merger happened, he announced a lot of changes were coming, and he's been making a lot of changes. And it wouldn't surprise me because Discovery and a lot of things that are tied to them, they have the same ad based setup with the tiers. So I'm curious to see how this will do things. This sparked my business mind, and which is why I thought I'd bring it to the pod. Lots of us have been sharing Netflix passwords for eons, something they've been trying to crack down on forever. And it seems like they have abandoned that, and now are trying to just bring in the dollars through ads. I wonder how this is going to affect their viewership, their consumers. I wonder what the price ranges would be for um, the other platforms that don't have this as of yet, like Disney Plus and HBO Max. And also, I'm curious what it's going to do for their revenue, because that's really the reason Netflix is doing it. They've struggled with revenue over the last couple years, since they've switched to creating lots and lots of original content on their platform. So I'm curious to see how this will go, and how it will affect their bottom line slash their business dealings. So that's it. That's Netflix. We move on. Another little piece of information that is sort of political. Um, Social Security has gotten its biggest increase in a long time. I believe it was 8.3%. I'll double check before I put this out. And if I'm wrong, I'll put the right number somewhere on the screen. But I believe it was 8.3%, kind of like a cost of living increase. This is a good thing. The elders, as we call them, who are reliant on Social Security, they need more money. It's hard for them to survive. And after they've quote unquote paid their debts to society, I know that's a term with prison, but I mean, really, it's the same shit if you think about it, because you've been working forever and now you retire. You should be able to live in a decent manner, not just have to move to Florida because it's the only place you could afford. Like, crazy shit. So it's a good thing. Social Security has increased 8.3%. I don't know if that's enough, though. I'm going to be honest. I know I might sound like a pessimist. I know I might sound like a person who's not being optimistic, like I'm being fucked up. It is great that it has increased that much, but Social Security really doesn't pay a ton. And lots of states up north, or even the quote unquote big three cities, are expensive as fuck. Very hard to live off of just that one check, which is why you see more and more of the elders working nowadays. So this 8.3% is a good thing. It's a good increase. That's a significant amount. I'll be honest. I'm not sure if it's enough. I guess I would have to look more into it. But I do think it's a step in the right direction. And I hope the elders continue to get these type of increases. I don't know how much longer Social Security will really exist, But I'm happy to see that as of next year, they will have an increase. It is a good thing for the elders, which I think is a good thing for all of us because we all have elders in our life. And, when you get to that age, you shouldn't still need to be working and grinding all day to just survive. So you should be able to live a nice life, a decent life. I'm not saying you got to have a mansion and be able to just kick your feet up all day and live life, luxuriously. But you should be able to live a decent way. And I think that this is a step in the right direction. I hope we continue to see things like this because facts are facts and shit is expensive. And really and truly, we need to take care of our elders. Many of them have taken care of us, paved the way for us, etc. All right, so that's that. Let's move on. Okay, our last topic. This one's a doozy. It's been getting a lot of people in trouble lately. Workplace romances. Workplace romances have been getting a lot of people in trouble lately. Also because they're cheating at work, which is a whole nother topic for a whole nother time. But let's talk a little bit about workplace romances. Workplace romances are actually very common. Everybody I thought had workplace romances before all of this stuff started happening. Before all of this stuff started coming out about people having crazy workplace romances, I thought everybody had one. I mean, I've had a few. Matter of fact, if you're watching or listening and we've had I can't even say it, and we had a workplace romance. Hey, boo, how you doing? You good? How Joe Budden said, hey, what's up? Are you good? Hit me up whenever you in the hood. Anyway, jokes aside, workplace romances are super common. People have workplace romances all the time. And think about it, it makes sense, right? You're around someone for 8, 9, 10 hours a day. Maybe you're carpooling into work or you get there early and leave late. There's overtime. You're spending lots of hours with this same group of people. It's natural that you're going to catch feelings or be attracted to someone there. They say with time spent, emotion grows. So, you start seeing someone every day, learning about them, learning their mannerisms, learning the things that they like and don't like, and the things you two have in common interests. And next thing you know, you're in the break room getting busy. Hey! Sorry. But a lot of people have been kind of bugging out that these things are happening at work. I think that we should be more focused probably on the cheating part for some of these people who have been in the limelight and have been trending topics the last couple weeks. But the fact of the matter is a lot of people have workplace romances. They're very common, and lots of corporations at this point don't even have anything against them. And as far as the rules go, there's really no protocol for not protocol. There's really no there's really no there's really nothing against it in like the company handbooks and stuff like that. Lots of companies don't have anything that says it's taboo at this point, but some do. And that's where things get tricky. If you work in a place where workplace romances are frowned upon and against the rules, there's a big difference. Because if it's frowned upon, it's like, we kind of don't like it. It's not really what we do. It's not the culture. You're not going to get fired. You're not going to get in a big amount of trouble. They may just say, hey, keep it clean. Try not to, be kissing and, having makeout sessions in the office. But if it is against the rules, if there is something in writing that says it is against the rules, you got to be very careful. In fact, you probably got to just ignore all that shit and not do it, because at that point, you're risking your job. If there's something in writing saying it's forbidden and you're still doing it, you have to know that you're now risking your livelihood, your paycheck, your salary, your benefits. All of that are at risk for a little hanky panky. And I'm ODing when I say hanky panky. I'm being silly. You might have fallen in love with somebody, but then you need to get another job, player, because it could cost you your job. And what you gonna do when you can't pay the bills? Now you're relying on this other person to help you pay the bills. See, our relationship probably didn't even get to that place or space yet. So you have to be very careful, because you could be risking lots and lots of things all of the things that are coming to you, all of those financial benefits, even health benefits. You could lose your health insurance, and now you asked out. Who knows what type of things you need to get checked out. We all got to get checked out on a regular basis, but especially if you have conditions, you have illnesses, you could be putting all of those things at risk. Lose your the availability to medication. There's just a lot of shit you put at risk, is what I'm saying. I don't need to give y'all a whole scroll full of items and things that are at jeopardy because you decided to have fun at the workplace. But I think knowing what the protocol is and what the policy uh, is important, because if it's something that your company doesn't care about, their quote unquote workplace culture is not affected by, then it's all good. But if it's something that they are against and it's in writing, well, then now you're asked out. Now you're putting yourself at a big risk for a little reward. There's plenty of people out there. You don't have to have sex at work. You don't have to be with someone from work. But you got to know what's the dealio, as we used to say. So I just wanted to speak about that a little bit because I see a lot of people online kind of outraged that these things have been happening at work. But it's really common. The commonality of workplace romances is high. Like, a lot of people have workplace romances. It's not an uncommon thing. I would argue it's a very common thing. So I thought that was interesting, and I thought I'd bring it here. It's not necessarily a sex-based topic, but it is in the same realm. So I thought that we should shed some light on it here. You know, throw a R in the comments, a WR. You know what I'm saying? Wide receiver style. If you had a workplace romance, I'm gonna throw one in the comments right now. Yo, that's our pod, baby. Thank y'all again for being here. I got to go.